Hey everybody, Steve here at YouTube/JugglingTricks, coming at you on this beautiful sunny day with a tutorial video for basic 5-ball multiplex tricks.
So, here is the 5-ball cascade. If you can already do this, great, but some of the multiplex variations in this video are arguably a little easier than the 5-ball cascade, so if your cascade is not very solid, you should still try some of these tricks. Of course, it's helpful to continue working on the cascade as well. In this video, I will teach you a sort of 4-2-3 pattern with stacked multiplexes on either side, simultaneous stacked multiplexes known as 1-up, 4-up, and also the crossing version, 1-up, 4-up crossing, a split multiplex pattern with the balls all going about the same height, another split multiplex pattern with uneven heights, and a variation of that last one with an extra throw after the multiplex. And of course, I'll be showing you lots of variations on all of these patterns, so let's do this! First, with 2 balls, practice the following multiplex throws individually. A stacked multiplex, be sure to practice in both hands, and also practice the crossing version. A split multiplex, where both balls go the same height and only one crosses to the other hand. And this angled split multiplex, where the crossing ball goes a bit higher. Some quick pointers on grip technique. If you hold 2 balls side by side, one will be in the side by your thumb and the other in the side by your pinky. When you catch a ball in a hand that's already holding a ball, whether you catch the second ball on the thumb side or on the pinky side is personal preference. I actually mix and match both methods depending on what pattern I'm doing. Do what feels most natural to you, but just be aware that you have more than one option. With the split multiplex where the balls go the same height, I find it best to hold them side by side, palm facing up, and the pinky side ball will be the crossing ball. With the stacked multiplexes and the angled split multiplex where one ball goes higher, I find it easier to turn my palms inward a little to make the higher throw from the thumb side. You can see me repeating the throw over and over here, and my palms aren't actually facing inward so much. It's more like you adjust your grip and turn your thumb inward a little to throw the higher ball from your thumb and forefinger while the lower ball just sort of pops out of your hand. Now, if you've never really tried juggling any patterns with multiplexes, a good starting point is to grab 4 balls and do a cascade pattern, with 2 of the balls always being thrown together as a crossing stacked multiplex. That isn't a particularly nice looking pattern, but it is good practice. To build up to the first 5-ball pattern, juggle the basic 3-object 4-2-3 columns pattern with a stacked multiplex as one of the 4s. And practice on both sides. When that's really comfortable, go for the 5-ball version, a single ball crossing back and forth with stacked multiplexes on either side. Throwing order is left, left, right, right. And you can achieve some simple variations by making the single crossing ball do a figure 8 or an over-the-top throw instead of keeping everything in columns. And here's my favorite variation with the throw going in between each multiplex. But keeping it in columns is probably the easiest version. To get ready for the next pattern, practice throwing a synchronous pair of stacked multiplexes. Try for decent separation, allowing you enough time to catch the first 2, then collect the other 2, and try to keep the high and low pairs even for a nice visual effect, which I'm clearly not doing the greatest job of here. Also, try making the 4-up crossing, which you can do with somewhat inside throws with a low crossing point, or more like reverse throws with a higher crossing point for a different shape. Try to offset the heights a bit on the 4-up crossing to avoid collisions. Now go for the 1-up, 4-up. It's not easy at first, but it is as simple as that. Throw 1-up, then throw 4-up. A lot of people like to do a cascade, then go into 1 or 2 rounds of 1-up, 4-up, but you can also run it as a pattern, and it's great multiplexing practice. You'll probably find it easiest to keep the 1-up in your dominant hand, but there are many simple variations by making that ball switch hands, over the top, inside, outside, etc. The 4-up crossing is a bit harder, so first just try flashing it, then try to get comfortable with running the regular 1-up, 4-up for a few rounds, and mixing in a crossing 4-up every now and then. And as usual, explore the variations by changing things around ever so slightly. Another helpful tip for these patterns, sometimes throwing the 1-up higher than you think it needs to go will give you more time to set up the multiplexes and practice your higher throws at the same time. This next pattern is very simple. Grab 5 balls and make the first throw, then alternate hands throwing those even split multiplexes right up the middle. A very slow left, right, left, right. Every throw is the same split multiplex. Aim for even heights so the balls land synchronously. Hard to explain it further than that, so good luck. And of course, you could make each throw outside rather than up the middle for a simple variation. If you're having trouble with those split multiplexes, practice this 4-ball pattern. Throw a split multiplex followed by a regular crossing throw from the same hand. Nice and slow, left, left, right, right throwing order. It's a neat 4-ball pattern on its own, and great to help practice the split throws from each hand without having to do it every single throw like in the 5-ball version. The next 5-ball pattern is similar to the previous. Every throw is a split multiplex up the middle, except this time we use those angled multiplex where the crossing throw goes higher and the pattern has a more asynchronous feel to it. You can also do the reverse version of this, but throwing those angled multiplexes as outside throws, as you see here, feels a bit awkward. The reverse version feels more natural with stacked multiplexes thrown more or less toward the center of your body, and although they look like those stacks where both balls go back to the same hand, you just have to make sure the higher ball crosses to the other hand. If you're having trouble with those angled multiplexes, here's another 4-ball drill, which is actually a left, 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 right, right, right throwing order. So the angled multiplex followed by a low throw back to the same hand, then a crossing throw, and then repeat on the other side. This drill is also important for the next 5-ball pattern because that low 4, the one after the multiplex that goes back to the same hand, can be added into the 5-ball version. So practice this 4-ball pattern, keeping that particular throw really low and tight, and then try to add it in with 5. When you're very comfortable running this 5-ball angled splits pattern, which is right, left throwing order, try to squeeze in that extra throw on each side before gathering the next multiplex, and it will become a right, right, left throwing order. So, like this, but it looks a lot nicer if you can squeeze in that extra throw like this. And if your brain hasn't already exploded, go ahead and try the reverse version with the extra throw. And this pattern here works great in Mills Mess. I can actually do all 3 versions of this reverse pattern with the extra throw in Mills Mess, and perhaps I will do a tutorial for that soon. Let me know if you guys would want to see that.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more. Until next time, happy juggling.